All right, I believe we are live. Hello, everyone. This is another live stream from Investing with the Difference. We are still tracking EOS launch.
All right, I believe we are
live. Sorry for that. That was echo from my speaker, so I'm going to turn that off. So we are still in the same phase. Nothing much to update here. EOS launch is still in the test phase. There's a very similar update what we saw yesterday from EOS New York, EOS Dublin. It's a very much a prepared statement from EMLG as the US mainnet launch group. And it's very similar. They had a call. They decided not to go ahead because there was still some test spending from some of the Asian block producers. So the update now is that they are going to have a go no go decision every 12 hours. They are having a call every 12 hours, which is 1 a.m. And 1 p.m. UTC. So from 2 hours from now, there will be another meeting, and every 12 hours they are meeting to make a decision if everybody is ready. The point is that security is being seen as the most important, because if you launch and you hit some basic issues, or more importantly security issues, that is something nobody wants, and you want a very well tested chain which is presented as a candidate. Once that happens, of course there will be some voting and so on, and that's something which everybody is waiting for. So that is current status. Nothing much has changed. We are going to watch out every 12 hours on where this test process finishes. In the meantime, another like if you see this tweet which shares the sentiment fairly well, that all BPs are focused on ensuring that we have no major issues before launching, and there are a lot of they have been doing independent testing. There's like they are trying to break this in multiple ways, and that is very important because these are like global teams across all continents, and there are a lot of experience behind it. So this should help them make sure that everything is good. Now, what is happening in other than this? So let us have a quick look. So I talked about the arbitration panel, and we call it ECAF, which is they have already declared the first set of interim arbitrators. Of course, this is the interim arbitrators. They will be actually selected later on when the mainnet token holders are going to vote for it, and there will be a referendum. So EOS is, again, as I have been repeating many times, it is going to be a very democratic process, and they will be having us after 6 months or so. They will have the referendum to select. So right now they have 4 names. These are very experienced people. The bio of these people is posted on the EOS Go forums. You can look at it if you're interested. I'm personally very excited about this arbitration model. This is the only blockchain which has this amazing model which can really make an impact, because this is how the real world works with arbitration. Not just you cannot just rely on some pre-written rules without any option for arbitration. So that is something which we are looking for. All right, so let's see what's happening other than that. So one thing which I was watching, and the news channel was reporting, so Mike Novogratz is still continuing to promote EOS, and in the Bloomberg Invest Summit, which is followed by a lot of people and was shown live on Bloomberg, he talked about EOS. So even though the headline here says Ethereum and EOS, but if you listen to him here, he basically mostly talks about EOS. So he's still continuously talking about why EOS will be the number one, and this is very bullish for EOS. As I think people were wondering what's going to happen post this ICO period, because during the ICO period there was a lot of scam FUD around EOS, like that these are guys are going to take money away. We are talking about big people talking about EOS in very big forums like Bloomberg Invest, and that tells you the confidence these people have about what is going on in terms of the ecosystem build up and so on. In general, I think the market is kind of flat. It's gone up and down. So if you look at it, Bitcoin is recovering again, and EOS is gone down a bit. I think there is still people are kind of getting impatient about the launch. I think people who are not really tracking it closely, there's a lot of FUD around mainnet launch delayed. It didn't happen. why is it taking so long. And I think we are talking enough in this forum, and I hope who are serious investor, you're not worried about it, because this is something which takes time. It's a community driven project. Other than that, I think a few other things I wanted to talk about is there is a very nice summary the Tribe site, this is tribe.one, has put together on various block producer, their strengths. So right now there are more than 200 block producer candidates which have joined and which are part of this mainnet initiative. So they are actually, there are more and more articles coming up, and we will see more and more details about these. So as you know, these are kind of, I agree with this post because most of the topics this article mentions are actually pretty good set of block producers. So I really love EOS Canada, the kind of work they have put in. I haven't followed EOS Sphere and EOS 42, but I have heard good things about them, and they are very strong teams. EOS New York is one of my favorites. They have done a lot of community work. EOS Authority is one of the best in keeping people really updated on the tokens. They have the best tools they have created. EOS Nation, again, as I said, is a very, very strong team and good tools. And I really am excited about Chintai, which is a token leasing platform they're building. And I will talk more about this in some other videos. Then again, we have a lot of other groups. There are EOS Asia, which is Hong Kong based, EOS Rio, which was the initiator of this whole Ghostbuster secure launch process. Then you have Ukraine, Germany, Norway. So it's all over the world. There are really good, strong teams coming up. Then EOS Tribe, I really like them for their graphics and the kind of demonstrations they do. And EOS Argentina, US in Detroit. EOSys in Korea. So these are all, I think Ono is one of the social message app on EOS, and they are also block producer. So a lot of them, very, very strong set of block producers here. And you should read about them, just get to know more. And I will put the link in the video below later on. And one more thing is, there is another write-up which I noticed on the web is from Sonata Systems. So this is again sonatasys.com, eos.io. And I think they have just described what EOS is, but what caught my attention is this kind of a very nice description. Everybody should have a look at how this whole process will work. So the tokens will be, there will be various states of the token, whether you are transferring them, that is a normal process which every blockchain has. But beyond that, EOS is allowing you to have a lease your tokens, a staking and unstaking process. So when you stake the tokens, they're locked into the system, and they are responsible for giving you bandwidth and CPU over the network. You can use them for voting. You can have your account names and to access your tokens, not just your the token how we usually do with the actual wallet addresses. And then whenever you stake the tokens, you have a 3-day hold period, which is everybody needs to understand. Either when you vote or when you stake it for other reasons, there is a hold period. And then it also explains you the inflation. If you are following blockchains, you should understand what is the typical inflation model, how the block producers are getting rewarded. So it's a pretty nice graphics and a good educational material. I will again post the link here. And they also have a very good list of the block producer candidates. So there are, like, again, all these may be biased. So remember this, like, if you are part of voting, if you're really later on going to take part in this process, so don't rely on one source. It's just like taking part in your local or your national elections. This is going to be, if you want to be part of this community, make sure you make an informed decision. We are not going to talk about any block producer or voting. I'm not interested in taking part in the politics of EOS. I'm more interested in technology. All right, guys. So these are some of the things I wanted to talk about. If you want to learn more, I will keep highlighting the resources and where you should look for. And just a quick look at the GitHub. So this is another source for snapshots. So I've always talked about using EOS Authority tool. So eosauthority.com has asked you to, like, how do you check your mainnet token status. So if you are worried about your tokens and if you are willing to download this snapshot, so these are actually validated snapshots from various block producers. So I will again post this link in the video. And if you want to do it, download these files. You can open it in Microsoft Excel, and you can search your Ethereum address or EOS address and your token amount. So this is for those who are still paranoid about whether they got included in the snapshot or not. And I just wanted to make sure that you have these resources available while we are waiting for the mainnet to launch and wallets to be released. All right, so now it's time for some questions. So let me have a quick look at our comment section. So there's one question is, can you explain how the active and owner key will work with a hardware wallet like Ledger? So I don't know exactly what you mean by active and owner keys, but hardware wallets typically work like when the keys are stored inside the wallet, they never get exposed. Even you don't see them, and they always produce a hash which comes out. So what I am expecting, if we go by what is happening with Bitcoin or Ethereum, there is a set of private keys which are stored inside the wallet, which you don't need to see, and there will be a set of public keys which will be made available to you. Right now, what we have is a private and public key pair for our wallets. That is almost like a paper wallet. So those keys can never be exported into hardware wallets. You will create a new wallet when you buy this Ledger or when EOS is supported on Ledger, and that will you will have to transfer tokens out of this paper wallet. And how do you do that? Is by making a transaction over the network, and that we will learn once other wallets are available, which will allow us to make transactions. So Scatter Wallet is right now most popular in the community. The developers for that are very well respected, but I'm personally suggesting everybody to wait because it's not going to be. It's a pretty new software. It's not yet tested enough for my liking. The mainnet is not even launched, and I don't want to go and risk my private keys and trying out a wallet. All right, so the next question is just letting you know, EOS Sphere has just announced this chain starting in 74.7, which is separate. That's right, Dave. So I think I am following some of these things. There are actually not just two. I hear that there is another chain coming up in Asia, which is in China and Korea. And in these calls, which are private, of course, the summaries are coming out from various channels, and what I'm hearing is there are going to be multiple candidates, and ultimately they will look at the test results from all these candidates, and either of this chain can be selected for the mainnet launch. So again, this is not easy process. It's a consensus process. It takes a long time. I would say we should wait for it, and definitely there are going to be more than this. So right now, what most of this block producer earlier, the EOS core team started with was this 579A branch, but I think there are going to be many more being proposed. And again, in worst case, let's say there is a disagreement between these group of block producers. We may have two chains launching, even though everybody at the start of this process said that they want to support a single mainnet launch. But in a democracy, there can always be disagreements, there can always be opposing groups, and you never know what is going on behind closed doors, which is not seen here or not made public. There may be some back channels between these block producers, and you may have people considering not supporting this 579A. And as you said, there's another 74.7 starting, and I'm hearing some rumors around another one starting in China. And then it will be all about who get voted, and then maybe they will enable multiple chains if they don't get to an agreement, or we will keep delaying this, and there will be an enable action which will continues getting delayed, because I think community has said many times they want to start a one mainnet. They don't want to start multiple chains. So I'm sure that if that is the case, if we have more and more chains and people are not coming to agreement, either this process will be delayed, or in ultimately, if not, people don't want to wait any longer, they may just start both of them and hope that they get the 15% votes. All right. So I see more comments. Thanks for all your likes and all your nice subscription comments and everything. Please share this our channel. And if there are any other questions, please just let us know. So Dave has another comment. Once chain is launched, the wallet companies will be advised how to code their wallets, and Exodus will update. Oh yes. So yeah, I think it all will keep changing. So right now, I think it's too early to talk about wallets. It's too early to talk about even the mainnet. So unless even after they select a chain, there will be they will try to do this enable process, and it may take a pretty long time. So anyway, I think we will keep tracking that. And let me actually look at one more thing I wanted to talk about. While we are still waiting for the question, I have EOS Classic. I think that again, I have some trouble with my PC. This was crashing a few times. I had been looking at their recent announcement. So what EOS Classic is doing, they just announced that they are going to do a. Okay, let me bring it here. I found this. So I hope everyone can see this. So this is called they are doing a airdrop. So yes, I really find it very funny. They're trying to mix EOS with proof of work. So this is another thing and they are trying to launch before EOS mainnet. So they are claiming that they will be ready by June 9th. And they're talking about claiming your tokens. So this is what I wanted to definitely talk about today. So these guys are trying to use your ERC20 wallet, and they are going to ask you to make a transaction on that to claim the tokens. To be frank, means even though I don't know if it is a scam or they are themselves explaining why they are not a scam and so on, I personally don't like this whole idea of proof of work, which is they are trying to bring in. But if you are interested in these forks, like we already talked about evolution, a lot of people were interested. They have been asking me where are their tokens. I'm almost giving hope on evolution, but there will be a lot of programs. There will be a lot of people who are going to launch EOS based chains because it's an open source project. But let me quickly put my views. If you want to claim these tokens and if you believe in forks, I would say there is hardly any risk because the ERC20 wallet is frozen. And if you go back and if you look at your snapshot, or if you have already checked it in EOS Authority, whatever was the job of ERC20 is done. You are already on the snapshot. You are already now part of the candidate chain, and your tokens are secure that way. So you need to understand tokens are not in a wallet. There are no tokens. Blockchain world, your tokens mean there is an entry in a database. Those are not something physical. They are not even a real entity. They are just an entry. And once that is captured, now your ERC20 wallet is, I'm sorry, let me go back. So once it is captured in the snapshot, your ERC20 wallet is useless. You can as well throw away the keys unless you have other tokens in that. So I'm assuming that you only have EOS in that and you don't have any other tokens. If you have other tokens, still you need to protect that wallet for other tokens. But I'm talking about if you're claiming it, these guys are not asking you anything about your mainnet keys, and they are not even asking about private keys for your ERC20 wallet. So go ahead, make a claim if you want to. This is a Medium post. You can search this, or I can post a link if you want. I'm not a fan of these forks, but go ahead if you want to and claim it. There is no risk. So a lot of people are asking me, oh, why are they making making you do a transaction and they are making you claim? I'm not too worried about it because it doesn't matter. All right. So this is one thing I forgot to cover. So let me take more questions if there are any. Will Exodus have an EOS mainnet wallet? So Exodus has confirmed that they will have a wallet. They are maybe late in the game because they are usually slow in bringing a new token, but they are very excited about EOS. I see them helping a lot of people register. So I think they should move forward in EOS very fast because I've seen them take a lot of interest. So definitely Exodus will have mainnet wallet. The only trick is that Exodus, for every token to be supported on the wallet, Exodus will have to create a new token in their systems, and you may not get all the airdrops visible. But you're not going to lose them because Exodus is just an interface. They are making your registration for EOS private key. You can always export that key and take that, use any other interface for enabling that wallet. All right, what other questions are coming here? If I had EOS on Binance on second, and am I getting any airdrops? If you had EOS on Binance on second, I would say that it depends on exact time. I think they froze their withdrawals, etc., at a certain point. I have no communication from Binance. I have not seen any formal communication, first of all, if they are supporting any airdrops. If they are not supporting any airdrops, then there is no question of when did you buy the tokens. The second point is, if they do support airdrops, they have to define. Right now, they are making trades happen even on a frozen wallet. So are they going to use the same snapshot as the timeline? I don't know. It doesn't even make sense what they are doing right now. I don't even agree with the process of trading within closed wallets. Binance is trading EOS, Bitfinex is trading EOS. They are doing it because they want to earn commission. They don't care. One person is selling to another, they get their commission. But really, what they are doing is the actual blockchain is frozen. The whole wallet which Binance has on the ERC20 chain, that is frozen, that will be converted to mainnet. Now, what you are doing is, Binance has this whole like a notion of one person selling to another while there is no movement in the real wallet. So they are just changing their entries in their systems, and you are buying from each other. And you cannot take the tokens out or sell it on Bitfinex. So there can be arbitrage opportunities which you cannot really make use of. So that is not a real market. So whatever you're doing, if you're trading EOS right now, you are not participating in a real market process. You are just doing a trade with each other, and you're just making Binance rich by giving commission. Now, about airdrops, again, sorry for a long answer, but airdrops, nobody knows. Binance will support it or not. What is their cutoff timeline? Who will own these tokens? So as far as I understand, most of the tokens, Binance will keep them, sell them. They won't even share it with any of these account owners. In terms of what is going to happen for some of the like big airdrops, I'm sure there will be pressure. Like Everypedia, I expect it to be pretty huge. I expect them to be a lot of money flowing into Everypedia, and Binance cannot just keep it with themselves. I think they should announce soon. Otherwise, they're going to lose out. People will not like that, and they may just start dropping Binance as their preferred exchange. So they need to worry about that aspect. But overall, I think Bitfinex is supporting some airdrops. They have confirmed. Again, I have no clarity how they will take the snapshot, especially for the people who bought it pretty late in the game, maybe on a second, or maybe they will not give you airdrops after their wallets froze. So every exchange had a different freezing time. You should go check it and figure out what is the strategy they are using for airdrop allocation. But ideally, let me tell you, whatever tokens are there right now in each of these exchanges, those tokens will be assigned airdrops. Now, who they give these airdrops to, that is a policy of exchange. That is nothing to do with EOS. Now, another question came, can people still buy EOS if they live in US? Anybody can buy EOS on exchanges. Exchanges are not blocking you. Exchanges already have your KYC. So, but I think a lot of people here on this call and the viewers here, if I look at geography of the people who are watching my YouTube videos, they are mostly in US, and all of them are buying EOS. So there is nothing which is stopping you from buying. And the reason they stopped people from participating in ICO is a totally different thing versus buying a token on exchange. When you participate in ICO, there is a regulation from SEC that a company cannot go and raise money. So if you're buying on exchange, that is totally different thing, and that has nothing to do with what the ban was from the companies. And first of all, it was not even banned. A lot of companies are actually doing ICOs even now in US. They are just taking permission from SEC. It's a much longer process. EOS did not want to do it. They were not clear how this, because they had a 1 year long ICO. They did not want to go through all the regulations, which can change all the time, because within last 1 year, the rules have changed so many times. So they decided to just say no to you, and they are just making sure they don't have any liability. Now, what I'm hearing is the mainnet launch, once it happens, they have completely separated it from ICO. So that's why so I hope everybody understands why Block.1 is saying that they are not launching mainnet, why they are just washing their hands away, because they want to completely separate out this community-driven blockchain launch from what is happening in like ICO, where they raised money. So that project is over. Now SEC cannot say that whoever is buying tokens now, the mainnet tokens, that has nothing to do with money raised. That is a free token by community. Community decided to give it to everybody who was on the snapshot on the token. Now that is not straight away. There is no financial regulation which says that you cannot distribute token based on a database. So again, what is happening now? There is a simple. Let me show you actually. I hope it doesn't crash my system, because it does sometimes. These are huge files. So what is happening is, okay, not this one, but actually if you open any snapshot, this is a big file of token holders. And if you look at those snapshots, you will see that they are just simple entries. And what is happening in mainnet, the new community token is being launched, and without raising any money, community is giving token to these people who are in this snapshot. Now, this has nothing to do with raising money, and that's why now the token is utility token. Now it's not a security anymore. Nobody's promising any gains to you on these tokens. And now I have heard multiple exchanges who are going to list EOS in US. And that is actually another reason why EOS will go up now. The new tokens which are going to come up from mainnet, they will have no restriction for US buyers, because they are not ICO-based tokens. They are a totally new EOS tokens, which are away from any money raising, any SEC regulations, and so on. So that is, I think, one thing everybody needs to understand. I'm actually, a lot of people did not buy it before because of this being a lot of issues, right? Means there are a lot of people talking about it as a scam. A lot of people talking about you cannot buy it in US, even China, or a lot of other countries. But if you see, China is one of the biggest token holder of EOS. Even though China, if you go to EOS website, when the ICO was going on, they said that you cannot buy it if you're in China. So I'm not worried about those things. Those are all because of EOS and Block.one protecting themselves from regulation rather than any implication on token holders. Anybody in US, if you have tokens, it doesn't matter. The whole ICO thing is gone. The project is completed as soon as the software was released. All right, so let me take some more questions. What is the best wallet to get airdrops on? So again, I think a lot of people don't understand it. You don't get airdrops on wallets. You get airdrops on blockchain. If you have your private key, you are getting airdrops. Now, how do you access those? That is how wallets are only accessing blockchain. Wallets are not containing your tokens. Your tokens are in the blockchain. That is the whole meaning of. I think all of you who are still questioning, don't look at the traditional way of the world, like where you keep money in your wallets. In blockchain world, you only keep the key in your wallet. Everything is decentralized. It's a public information. Your tokens are public. They're just a data entry. So you're not getting tokens in your wallet. You're only accessing your token through wallets. So if you have a private key, everybody's getting airdrops. Sorry. All right. So what do you think Everipedia will be worth per token? Okay. So this is a more of a speculation question. So if for fun I can do that, I am not I don't believe in speculating price. But let me say, I'm looking at Everipedia to be at least $500 million or $1 billion worth. Maybe not on the launch day, maybe in a few, whenever it gets real adoption in terms of how people see it. Wikipedia has a big goals. Like, you need to understand, it's again a revolution. Wikipedia today can be banned. A lot of countries in Middle East, they ban Wikipedia. Wikipedia is one of the biggest source of information. Wikipedia defines internet, but it can be censored. It can be, it has a lot of issues in terms of nobody's getting rewarded for writing. So there are a lot of propagandas on Wikipedia. And in Wikipedia is trying to just redo it. It's a huge project. Don't see it as a copy of Wikipedia on blockchain. It is actually a project which can change the way information is shared on internet. It can really make it trackable. It can really make it uncensored anywhere in the world. And more importantly, nobody can mess with it. Information can be verified to who wrote it, and there will be a reputation built into the system. Nobody can just go and submit changes. And if you are known for making false claims or you're spreading wrong information, you will be caught very easily through blockchain. It's a very, very huge thing. And if it is a $1 billion valuation, it's very low target for me. $1 billion valuation means 10 cents per token. and that would mean that for every EOS you hold, you are talking about 51 cents reward. But again, that is again a speculation. There is on blockchain world. If you go to Coin Market Cap, uh, this is amazing. Look at Ripple. Look at Bitcoin Cash. What are they? What have they done? Bitcoin Cash is just a copy of Bitcoin with some minor changes, and they're just $20 billion. There is no real technology innovation. There is maybe, yes, I can argue some people love Bitcoin Cash, but I would say they're hardly contributed in real world, other than claiming that they are going to be faster. And there are a lot of why Litecoin is 6 billion and why Bitcoin is 19 billion. There is no reason for it. All of them are trying to solve the same problem, but I'm talking about real world use cases in Everypedia can solve, which are much bigger than this. That we are talking about real, genuine information on the internet versus propaganda based information, uncensored version of internet. There's a big goals Everypedia has. So you need to understand that how blockchain can really solve real problems rather than looking at just some project which is created for the sake of creating it. And that's what will happen in over next few years. Like right now, everything moves with Bitcoin because everything is a hype. Most of these projects, they should not be valued that high. Even Bitcoin should not be 130 billion. There is no reason for it. There is no real utility today. It's all hype. You need to understand that. So EOS is really creating a platform which will be first usable blockchain platform. And if you hear Mike Novogratz, who is actually very close to EOS, he's actually investing a lot of money. He has put like $325 million fund from his company for EOS development. And if you read, this is only a 1 minute clip. You can watch this, and he talks about exactly same thing. He's saying EOS is the only usable blockchain, and this is the first time a blockchain will be a blockchain project will be able to scale, and that is what we need to talk about. We should not worry about prices. According to me, even this doesn't make sense. But yes, I'm invested in Bitcoin. Yes, I want to see it at $100,000 because I believe in value. Prices are speculation. You need to look at what is valuable. Bitcoin is valuable. EOS is valuable. Perhaps Ethereum is valuable if they are able to figure out their problems. I don't Ripple. I don't know. Means it's a very much centralized. It doesn't have all the right things, which I don't like the project. But it may be valuable if banks start using it for saving money. Bitcoin Cash is totally useless. Litecoin is useless. These are just copies. So there are a lot of projects which are like which are not really serving a purpose, and having billions of dollars of valuation doesn't make any sense. So that is my view. But again, thanks for asking the question. I would say Everypedia can be huge, but on the launch day, nobody knows. It's all speculation. Maybe people will put a lot of value in this, just like they have put in this really bad projects. I can say that Everypedia can be $10 billion, $20 billion. Nobody knows. And I don't know how cryptocurrency valuation works. I have worked in. I've looked at a lot of stock valuation. I have been involved in private equity. I do personally have experience investing in startups. The valuation works very differently in equity. If I was a venture fund manager, I would not value any of these projects at that high value. These are totally nonsense valuations. Which like EOS, while I support it, I invest in it. $12 billion valuation for not even a product with not even an actual chain launched. It has no meaning in real world. So you need to understand those things. All right. So let me move back to comments. Sorry for getting excited. I am like passionate about this in terms of like how you should understand what is behind it. Means I am not really. I really hate it when people start speculating. So when I say that I had done a video where I said EOS can go to $100, my goal was to make you understand that with this kind of valuations which are being given to these projects, EOS has much better capability and it can easily overtake and become like that. I never mean to speculate on prices, and that is something. And I do trade, I do make gains out of these movements, but valuation is not the right thing when we talk about cryptocurrencies. Most of these are pure hype right now, and they can go much higher, but they are not based on intrinsic value today. All right, what are the other things? I don't see many questions. So please feel free to ask more questions, because I don't have any more content. I think I just wanted to make sure everybody, we are building a community where we are learning. EOS is a great project, and I think we are all looking for how we can benefit from the new world wave of internet, and be excited about technology, not just price. I know all of us are in there, many of us are in there only for money, but I would say if you're not learning the technology, you are going to be missing out on what is going on in this world, and why these are like really really big changes happening. When we talk about blockchain based world, it's a big hype. I know that 80% of the projects are just moving to blockchain for the sake of moving to blockchain, and not really using blockchain where it should be. What else are you long on beside EOS? All right, so you will have to pay me $10,000 to know that. Just kidding. All right, so yeah, I mean, I think there are some good projects. I have shared a little bit of information on Tron, which I don't really like the way they have managed themselves, how they marketed themselves, but I like the ecosystem they're building. I will do more videos on this, and please join our Facebook page. I do share a lot of information about the trading, and also we have a private group of investors, so I cannot invite everybody into that. It's a closed group, so our team is working on plans on how we make sure that only serious investors get into that. And we have a closed group of investors. We do discuss strategies, and we do share some trades which we make on a daily basis to make gains, and those are pure speculation based gains, and that is a totally different side of our operations. And that you can send us information on Facebook, join our page. We have the link on the channel itself, and you can feel free to send us a message, and we will share more information. All right. Can I get airdrops if I register? We have covered this question, so please rewind and watch the Exodus discussion. Do you know how many DApps are committed and ready to launch? I think we did a video where we posted a graphics. You can go search on Twitter. There are EOS tribe graphics. Let me see if I can quickly open that here from Dan Lenimer. But in the meanwhile, I would say there are hundreds of them, and by end of the year, it should be thousands, which should come up. Okay, it's difficult to search. I don't like Twitter platform for searching. It's like really bad. But anyway, I think you can just look at the feed from Dan Larimer, and you will find some tweets from him. Let me look at while we are looking for that, let me quickly have a look at other questions. Do you think gaming will be big on EOS? Seems like Asian love gaming. I think so. I think there is a VAX token which is moving to EOS. It's a private EOS. I'm going to cover some of those discussions. I think they are actually exchanging EOS-based, virtual tokens and virtual gifts and so on, and they are creating a marketplace for that. Gaming itself doesn't need to be on EOS. I don't know what is the purpose it is solving. You don't want to game over a blockchain. Means but gaming is all about short-term and quick stuff. I think I missed it. Maybe it was somewhere here. He had posted. I don't know if he deletes his tweets. Anyway, I think you should be able to find that. Just go search for this graphic from EOS Tribe, which is showing a lot of DApps. Okay, so let's go back on to my CoinMarketCap page while we are taking questions. Thoughts on crypto ETF being passed by SEC this year? I think a lot of them are getting. So if you follow Grayscale, I would say they are the leaders in creating ETFs. GBTC was already being trading, and they are. What I hear is they are pushing for a lot of other ETF kind of products, and they should be. I think they have a big influence there, and I'm sure there will be more and more ETFs coming. Will EOS DAC tokens be swapped to EOS blockchain? Yes, EOS DAC has actually used the same registration process, same snapshot, and they are going to swap it automatically. If you have registered your EOS tokens, the EOS DAC will automatically come on EOS blockchain. So that is what they have confirmed. Do you think, okay, what is the other thing? Do you think IOTA is interesting? I don't really like that project much, but and to be frank, I have not looked deeply into it, so let me not comment on it. GitHub valued valuation. Why was it valued? Because it's a great tool. It is where most of the projects are. Again, let me not get into the details there. But what are my thoughts on Microsoft acquiring it? I would say I don't like it. Microsoft is the symbol of closed software. They are never into open source. They have no experience, no history. I would really hate it for them to kill this project the way they have been really killing a lot of acquisitions they have made in past. I hope crypto space finds out a different tool. I don't want anybody in open source space to be associated with Microsoft. They are a great company. As an investor, they're a great company. They make a lot of money on software, but I don't like. I don't really like it when Microsoft acquires GitHub. Do you think EOS can be the first real and mass adopted crypto? Of course, yes. I think that's what I've been talking all about. It has the potential to be the first mass adopted crypto, but for that, the DApps have to come about. Like there have to be a lot more serious, usable DApps. Everypedia is one example, which will be usable, which is backed by a very good team. And then I'm looking for more good projects. And I think I will do another video on that. I'm slowly taking notes on what is being planned, what are the real useful blockchain projects. I think right now the only useful thing for cryptos is to just make money. You just speculate on it, coins keep going up. That is not really world use case. So that's again I will keep coming back to this. Why do you need to have $345 billion market cap for all these coins when the only thing you're doing is trading? You're not really using in real life. And I have some projects which I invest in. Again, a lot of proprietary research goes into that, and I would not share those details here in public videos. I do believe there are some real projects happening in blockchain world which have same potential as EOS. Not really same potential because EOS is a platform, but at least in individual use case spaces, there are a lot of potential tokens which are really making use of blockchain. So I don't think that EOS will be the only one, but EOS has the most potential, and it should be the only one in the platform perspective, the basic technology perspective. This is the only blockchain. But in terms of the tokens, if you say, so people confuse between the blockchains versus the tokens. So you can have a token on EOS which can become really huge. So for example, internet was huge, and then who made money? Google, Amazon. These people created apps on internet, or they really used the internet to create big businesses. So I believe EOS will be the base, but there can be another app which can come on top, which really make a business case, and that's what you need to look for. Whether they will even be giving anything to EOS, maybe not. EOS is open source software. If Mark Zuckerberg comes today, he picks up EOS and he creates Facebook on top of EOS. You cannot do anything. He will, just like Samsung takes Android and make phones. They have nothing to do with Google. Google is making Android OS and giving away. So EOS is making this software and giving away. Now EOS community has to define why people should come together and use this mainnet, and how the valuation of EOS will be is all depending upon this community which is building. This is why we need to really follow what is happening in the community, how these block producers are going to continue building. There will be a lot of private chains. In fact, let me open that verbally. So I just found another project which is announced, which is a banking system based on EOS. Now, this is not going to give you anything because this is not a EOS. They are not planning to use EOS mainnet. So if you go and look at this, this is they call it World Blockchain Initiative, and they are making a blockchain platform for banking. They are talking about just like Ripple use case. They are talking about all kind of payment systems, debit cards. So they have at least 10 different use cases which 10 different tokens are doing in the current market on Ethereum, and they have a pretty decent team. Means I looked at it, I like this project. Maybe it's a good candidate for you to buy as ICO. Again, I'm not suggesting any investments. Don't take it as an investment advice. But they are doing a private pre-sale right now, and they're raising a lot of money while they are using EOS as their base. So they are going to use EOS software, and they are not really issuing any tokens. They have not declared any airdrops to EOS. If you look at this, now this is what I was looking for. So they are calling it a full service platform with total cryptocurrency integration backed. and build on our own independent EOS blockchain. So that means they are launching their own EOS blockchain. They have nothing to do with EOS mainnet. So this can be a killer app. This is amazing. EOS has capability, but as EOS token holders, you're not going to get anything out of this unless they go back and say we are going to use mainnet, and they start thinking about using EOS token. But right now, this is just a private blockchain, and this is what I expect. So it's an open source world, guys. Means I don't think it's going to be easy to understand the valuation. Don't Yeah, you can call it unfair, you can call it whatever you want, but it's all about community, and that's why the value of EOS token is all about this community, the EOS New York, EOS Sphere, EOS Authority, all these guys, EOS DAC, which is actually a community-backed block producer, not really a small company or something. And all these people are responsible for creating value. So this is where I think we need to figure out, and we need to keep watching to create real value with EOS. We will need to see if more and more DApps are developed on this. And the best thing is, I believe in Block.one because they have a lot of money. They're sitting on $5 billion. There are so many different VCs they have lined up. So if you go to Block.one, again I keep highlighting. They have a lot of projects. They have a lot of hackathons happening, they are bringing all these VCs there. Even this week, earlier this week, they announced this another partnership, $50 million fund. This is a London-based venture fund. All these funds are getting accumulated on EOS mainnet launch. So that is what I think will define EOS. And Block.one itself has a VC partnership, VC program. And if you see on their website, you see more and more details. I think this is going to define how the valuation of EOS goes. All right, so last few questions. I have another 5 to 10 minutes before I need to go. Please go ahead and put your comments and questions. I don't see any more questions. Mostly they are comments. So I'll give another 2 minutes while let me reload how the price action is going. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. What is going on here? So we have a nice bounce last couple of days. Again, as I said in my previous videos, I think 7750 is still not crossed. This is still a big resistance. We are in middle of nowhere in my trend lines, which I have been tracking, and these have been doing very well for me for almost 3 months or so, or 4 months, ever since we have hit this next wave of downturn. And I want to keep, so what I like to do, I like to keep my discussion very simple, and I like to see when the support is taken. So I was buying Bitcoin here and suggesting people to buy it here. We got a pretty good bounce. We are in a pretty bad down move now, but this was a big candle which gave us some hope. I don't like it that it didn't take support here, and today's move looks promising, but it has to cross 8,000 for me to be convinced that we are going anywhere above. So don't get too excited about these small moves. And as I said, if you're an investor, you're buying these altcoins, everything moves with Bitcoin. So that's why I keep tracking Bitcoin very, very closely. As of today, market is still very, very correlated. This is going to be very critical that Bitcoin moves out of this range so that we can see some rally and people can start making money. And that will define the whole crypto space, even the EOS valuation or anything. So we need to keep watching this levels of 7750 and 8,000. These are two big resistances before we see any rally. So some people are joining late, so there are questions. I would like to know how DApp selection process works for launching on EOS. Anybody can do any DApp. There is no selection process. You need to buy EOS. You have to stake them. You get the network bandwidth. It's open source code. They're going to be you need to have anybody can go develop it. Already there are tutorials on that, how to write the apps on EOS. So it's almost going to be like Android or iOS where you can write apps. So that is what going to happen. All right, guys, so I'm wrapping up now. One last question: when is the next update video? As the things happen, I will keep making updates. Maybe some. So we are trying to look at Tulip conference where there is a lot of EOS presence. So we are going to talk a little more updates from EOS and what is happening in Tulip conference. And if the mainnet launch materialize, we will keep updating you. We still are in test phase. Again, don't worry and don't track it so closely. These things are it is in good hands. There are good set of block producers. We are not really worried about when it happens. These guys are very, very careful. They are taking security first approach, and we will just wait for it. Again, this is I know it can be frustrating for some people because a lot of FUD is around about minute getting delayed, not happening, and so on. But I think don't worry about that. It takes time. I think people have been patient. It was a 1 year long ICO. So good things take time, and hopefully this will be a safe launch. That is most important, and I'm not worried about whether it happens today or a week later. But as of now, a quick summary is every 12 hours they're meeting, and there is going to be an update. So every 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. UTC. So this is the UTC clock. If you can just go to you can just search on Google and you will find out how to track UTC. But just it's basically there is a meeting happening in 1 hour 10 minutes from now, and every 12 hours they are meeting and they're deciding whether they are ready. So it can happen anytime, but definitely it's not getting activated in next 24 to 48 hours, because even after they do, they have to then come together, align on a chain, and then there will be enable process and voting process. And that 15% voting can happen in 15 minutes, or it can happen in 15 days. Nobody knows, because what we talked about earlier in the call, there are going to be multiple chains. Already there are multiple proposals. Even though the core team has identified this 579A chain, there are other chains coming up. So this is what we are looking at. All right, thank you everyone. So we keep updating you on EOS, and thanks for joining again. Please subscribe to our channel, share to other people, and we want to be spreading more and more awareness about EOS. There's a lot of FUD around. I heard about this guy named Cliff High, who is again being discussed. He's really trashing EOS without knowing anything about it. So I would say just make sure that you're learning about EOS, not just speculating on it. If you're speculators, I don't think this channel is going to be much useful for you. But I think overall, yes, everybody is in it for some money, making some money. But if you know your investments, you can really be back yourself to hold it longer and not really go and sell at wrong time. So look at it from that perspective, and learn about blockchain, learn about keeping your keys safe. First of all, means I am sick of the questions coming on which wallet will support airdrops. If you're asking those questions, that means you are not in the right space. You are investing in wrong things. You don't get airdrops on wallets. You get airdrops on a blockchain. And if you know how to access your EOS tokens, you will know how to access your airdrops. So that is one thing I would like to repeat here and again. Learn what the wallet means in blockchain world. And that is something you need to really understand before you go ahead and start investing money into it. I know that a lot of people have put a lot of money into crypto space, but if you don't understand, you will someday get scammed. So make sure you understand keys. You make sure you understand what is the meaning of wallet, and that is most important. So don't worry about wallets. Don't worry about anything. Just make sure your EOS keys are secure if you are an EOS investor. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Bye-bye for now. And again, thanks for all the love you have shown. And do join us. You can contribute on our channel, on our videos. We always have donation links posted now. Thanks for people who reminded us for that. Definitely, we are looking for more and more development. Maybe create a website for us. For me, it is still like a hobby. I have a team which is helping me. I'm paying them from my pocket. And that is just because I want to make sure, like, if we can create this as a business, definitely we would be interested in creating a community where it is unbiased information. And our goal is to educate investors. I have been running a lot of meetup groups earlier. I have in stock market investments, in other things. I was used to do this in like Silicon Valley. I have made a lot of friends here. And I have been involved in private equity investing in startups and so on. So I have good access to those people. This is just a way for me to give back to community. And I want to definitely help and improve these tools. But definitely, I will not be putting a lot of money into it. So if you're contributing, it will help us improve our services. And maybe I will be able to create some employment for people who are working for me, who are helping me provide this kind of information to you. So thanks for joining again. And talk to you next time. I will try to do more live videos if I have time. This week was better for me in my schedule, so I did more live shows. It's always fun to have interactive session and get your questions and answer them on the spot, because I try to have my team respond to questions on YouTube comments and so on. That is not very effective. Maybe we are missing a lot of questions. So we will keep doing that, and let us know how we can improve our this information channel. One day I think we can build a community, and if EOS is big, I think most of the channel subscribers right now are EOS investors. I think it's not a bad thing, because ultimately my view is that EOS can become the only crypto space in very short time. I believe ERC20 is basically flawed, and EOS based airdrops and tokens will be the next big thing. So it is not a bad idea if you are building our community around EOS. Ultimately it will become the cryptocurrency space. That's my belief. So again, I think these are very long closing comments, but I love to talk and I love to share information. So please feel free to send me questions, comments, and hope to talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.